My name is David Cherry, and today what we're going to deal with is basically a confirmation dialog. This is written in HTML, and the purpose of the confirmation dialog is to confirm a deletion. Okay, and the intent is to send the request back to the same page that is pushed out by the server. Okay, a lot of times you have two different web pages. But in this case, we're going to be working with one page. Now, we're dealing with what is called, building in steps. Okay, and so today we're going to focus on the basic code for doing that. Okay, but before I do that, I'd like to show you some other things. Okay, now this is my search engine right here. Okay, and this is my website right here. Okay, and so you can search the net right here, enter search, or you can come back like this. All right, and oops, I just lost my session. Okay, go back there. All right, and then like you enter in any search term you want, and right here, all right, when you're looking under programming tips, which is there, and you can find different code that I've assembled over time. I've been working on rebuilding my database, and for some fun, okay, I want to show you one of my favorite little pages. Okay, you ready? Here it is. Okay, let's bring down the size here to 100% or less. Okay, and here it is. CompuNet is here to serve you. I'm David Cherry, a web developer, programmer, and scholar. And well, this is me. That's my favorite page. What do you think about that? Well, anyway, now back to the real stuff. Okay. All right. Now, let me get my thing back up to 100% where it's supposed to be. All right. And let me see if I can confirm dialog. Okay. All right. Let me see. Different things. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, no, that's not it. Let's get the current URL. All right. Let me see. There we go. All right. Now this is a script that I intend on using right here. All right. That's a little too high. Okay. Make sure I got it all on the same page. There we go. Now a lot of people type out the code. I don't like doing that. I'm just going to leave it there for you to see. Okay. And like I said, the main intent is to use it as a redirect. Now let me do this first to try to show you what I mean. All right. Now the code, I got too many windows, but I don't want to lose them. Okay. There we go. Now I got it right, or I can work with it. Okay. Now, the code here that you see here puts out this right here. It's a confirm delete using window location href attribute, and then you got the window dot replace and a query string with JavaScript. I'm sorry I can't talk straight. I thought I'd be able to do better, but anyway. So the main thing is that the code here, all right, that's written and on the server, all right, we call it server side, all right, this is pushed out to you, okay, and when you see what this code does here, it'll look like this, okay. Now the purpose of this code is to confirm a delete, okay. Now, so like if I hit delete, and let's say I want to delete this page, and the code is to delete this one specific page from the server, so it's there no more. That's the purpose of this code. Okay. Usually it's for like indexing files, certain files that you might want to move around on the server, but you don't want them there forever, and you want that code there in that particular file so you can delete that file no matter where it is on your server wherever it goes, you can delete that file. This is the purpose of the code. Okay. Now this is the building block, the first building block to achieve that. Okay. And so I'm just going to give you the building block to achieve that here in this particular tutorial example. Okay. So if I hit delete, you get a confirmation. It says press OK to delete this file. Well, you know, if I hit cancel, it's not going to do it. But if I hit delete, it will. Now, this will not delete the file because I do not have any delete code in there. This is just to deal with the query string and the redirect back to the same page, all right, that it can delete the file. Okay. So what happens is when I press this right here, it's going to send a send a request back to the same page on the code that you just saw that tells it that it wants to delete it, and it's going to do it through a query string. Okay. Now query strings use what is known as the get method. Okay. So the query string will occur after this right here. You know, see where my cursor is right here? So I'm going to hit cancel. All right, so the query string, all right, if I go all the way down here, you'll see confirm dialog.html. So you can tell by looking at this right here in the URL that the current file is HTML. Okay. Now, in programming, you can have other things there than just an ordinary HTML page. You can have an active server page. You can have a Java server page. You can have a PHP page. You know, you can have different types of pages that put things out. Even Windows Script Host can do it. Okay. Active, and then you got Visual Basic. You know. VBS, Visual Basic Script, that can do it. You know, so you would see the extension for VBS would be right here, VBS. Okay, and so there are different languages or code that could be used. Okay, so anyway, let me show what happens in the query string. So what you're going to see is if you look right here at the very end, it ends with .html. Okay, now after this will come the query string. So if I hit delete and it says OK, and I go back here. Okay, now what this did is it sent a GET request back to the server code of this very same page. Okay, and if I go back here, you see here after that I got a question mark, a delete equals self. So what happens is that it's sending a request back to the server to delete self, to delete this code of this file. Okay, and so what I'll do is I'll take the time to explain that in a minute. Okay, but anyway, so what we're going to do is, all right, there we go. No, that's not it. There we go. This is the code right here. Okay, that you're seeing. Now this code is in my database. Okay, I put it in the database to make it easy. Okay, now the function, you know, most programmers will have my function. Okay, or you know, but usually it's my function here, you know, when they're doing testing and stuff like that until they turn to real code. Okay, so you have the button right here. This is the code for the button. All right, this function is a JavaScript function here. Now with the button, you can also put in a PHP function in there as well, and it'll catch the PHP function as well. Okay, so when you have functions, if you don't want to name my function for a PHP function and a JavaScript function when you're programming for PHP, you don't want the same name because it creates a conflict. And so in the code, based on how the code is written as it goes down, reading lines of the code, you know, going down like this, okay, it'll take the first one that it comes. Okay, so anyway, my function here, okay, now this is JavaScript code right here. You see the script tags? Whenever you see this, this means it's in a scripting language, and typically it's going to be JavaScript. Okay, now there's other things you can put within the tag right here. All right, you know, after this bracket right here, okay, you know, you can put in here. Okay, so but anyway, I want to define a variable in JavaScript. It's called text. Now the reason that is because that affects what goes inside this paragraph here. This is a paragraph tags, and I have an ID here, and the ID is an identifier all right, for that identifies this specific paragraph tag with the name demo. Okay, all right, as the ID, his name is demo. Okay, so anyway, I have the variable text. Okay, now I have another variable I'm defining. It's called location. It's called lock replace, which is easy to remember. Location replace. Okay, so if you remember, I said using the window location dot ar window dot location date dot href attribute. Okay, or method. Okay, is that okay here? All right. What this does is give me the current internet web address for the URL, which is what you'll see right here. Okay, in other words, this code here that you see here is the complete internet web address for the very same page you're seeing in my database. Okay, so anyway, and so even here, if you see this, everything after the name of the page right here, everything after this right here, this right here is the name of the web, of the executing script. Okay, in the server. All right, but everything here is the query string. Okay, all right. So what I want to do is I want to get the actual path of the script. Okay, that is being executed, which is, let me find it, this script right here, and you can see its path is, if you go all the way to the end, you can see this is the path right here. Okay, and the query string for it, because I've already sent it in for a delete. But I didn't want to, if I want to get rid of the delete, okay, it's a little harder to work with this than it was in the older browser. I'm not so happy with it. Okay, so if I want to end and delete and get rid of the query string, I just do that and see the query string is no longer there. It just gives me back to the web page. Okay, so anyway, this is the real path right here to the script. Okay, all right. So back to where I'm going here. So this is it. Window.location.href is the actual location of the script itself on the server. Okay. Now I have a plus sign here because this involves concatenation. Okay. And then after that, I have to have a space between each one. And then I have in double quotes right here a question mark, which tells me that's the beginning of a query string. Okay. All right. And then it tells me an action, which is to delete. All right. And what am I intending to delete according to the query string? All right. It gives me, the equality operator right here, which is self. It means delete self. Okay. Now, so I defined everything here there for location and replace, where I'm going to where to send the request when the button's clicked here. Okay. All right. Now I have the response, the variable. I'm defining a new variable here. All right. That means I'm defining a variable. Okay. And the variables will be called response. Okay. Now this is for the confirmed dialog. So, all right, this here, everything that you see here, okay, is a built-in JavaScript function. All right, it's called confirm. All right, the name of the function in JavaScript is confirm. Okay, and then anything in between these double brackets you see here is what you put in that you want people to see. So press OK, delete this file. Okay, all right. So anyway, so it confirms the response. Now there will be two buttons there, which you can see. If response is true, okay, then the text will be you pressed OK. Okay. If the response is false, all right, okay, then it'll come out in the text as a response. You pressed cancel. Okay. Now, and then the value of the text element is sent to what we call a paragraph. Okay, and this is what this code is about right here. Okay, and it uses a document dot get element by ID, and then you give the ID of the element in HTML you're looking for to put the response in. Okay, and then it's enter HTML, which I'm not going to go into explain all that right now. Okay, but that response data, whether it be this or this, either one, can be placed here as the value that you see right here. Okay, so anyway, it would go inside these paragraph tags here. Okay, so let me show you another example again. Okay, all right, this is the button. I click OK. All right, now you see there's nothing down here. All right, and once I press OK, all right, let's do it again. I messed up on my code. It's not supposed to do that. It's deleting it. I'll have to figure out what went wrong there. Okay, let me see what happens when I do this. I never even noticed that. There you go. And it says you press cancel. Okay. Oh, I know why it's doing that. It's because when I pressed OK, it's being sent to another page. That's why. So it's working correctly. Okay. So when you press OK, you know, it will go back to cancel. All right. So anyway, so here's your code right here. Okay. Now the reason the response didn't remain when it says you press OK is because, see right here, this right here. All right. Almost forgot. What it's doing is it's sending out a request using the get method to delete this file, and therefore you're not going to see that response. I'm glad I got to explain that. Okay, so anyway, if you look here, because if I press delete and it goes OK, see, you're not going to see it because it's actually sending the request out, and it's not going to come back to the same page because the page is going to be deleted. Okay, so anyway, and so here is the query string right here. Okay, delete self. Now, because I hit it so many times, it just builds on one another. Okay, so anyway, that's the basic code for you to see right here. And I'm going to leave it up there for you to look at and for you to type. And it'll be up here for a few minutes. And that way you can view it. And so the idea of this, as you remember, is to create a confirmation dialog to delete the current document in the existing location that it's at. Okay, and there's other code to be written there at a later time, which would be, you know, in PHP. Okay, and you can have PHP and JavaScript and CSS all in the same page, you know, when you understand what you're doing. But anyway, this is just the basic code right here. Okay, and so, and this is how you send the query string back to the same document. Okay, how you send the query string back to the same document. Okay, and so that's the value right there. Okay, so that's important to remember. Okay, and then you got another one below right here that is important to remember, which is the location replace, and so, and that is the variable right here. Okay, so but anyway, you might want to concentrate on that right there. And I'm gonna leave it up there for minutes, and then I'll close the video. So I'll be up there just for a few minutes. Well, that should have given you enough time to look at it, and you can pause the video, back it up, and pause it. This is David Cherry. I want to say thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. But this will be simple code for you to use, and also for me and any future programmers that may end up working for me in the future. We'll be discussing at some point various methods concerning style and etc. encoding procedures. Anyway, you have a good day, and we thank you.